have the minutes of the work session of May 20th, 2019. Any corrections? Seeing none, can I have a motion for acceptance by Spinks, second by Janutus. Call the roll.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes? Yes. Spinks?
Yes.
Koji?
Abstain.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluor?
Yes. And you have the minutes of the regular meeting of May 20th, 2019. Any corrections to that? Seeing none, motion for acceptance by Saunders, second by Rhodes. Call the roll.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Koji?
Abstain.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluor?
Yes. Under presentations, unfortunately, we have to delay the fire department's presentation till the next meeting. If somebody couldn't make it, and they're vitally important to be in here, so we'll do it in July. Under old business, ordinance number 9683-19.
Can we get a motion
I'm sorry.
to return to the agenda, ordinance number 9683-19, 9684-19, 9685-19, which were tabled for comment from the Planning Commission, which we are now returning to council based on the recommendations of the Planning Commission. So we just need a motion to return it to the regular agenda.
By Janutus, second by Spinks. Call the roll.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Koji?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluor?
Yes. And it's our wish to put that on second reading, and I have a motion for such by Saunders, second by Rhodes. Call the roll, please.
Yeah, let me read this.
Sorry,
Okay.
we gotta do it separately.
Yeah, I think so, yeah, better.
Okay.
So ordinance number 9683-19 is an ordinance rezoning certain property located near the intersection of Northfield and Rockside Roads from the current B3 shopping center district to a MU mixed use district classification. And again, this would be a second reading.
We had a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Koji?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluor?
Yes. Ordinance number 9684-19.
An ordinance rezoning certain property located at Bartlett and Rockside Roads from the B3 shopping center district to R3 1-6 family residence district and MU mixed use district as recommended by the Planning Commission and amended accordingly. And again, this would be a second reading also.
I have a motion for such by Saunders, second by Rhodes. Call the roll, please.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Koji?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluor?
Yes. Ordinance number 9685-19.
Which would be an ordinance repealing and replacing existing chapter 1939 entitled B3 Shopping Center Districts with a new chapter 1939 entitled MU Mixed Use District of our ordinances of the city of Bedford as amended by the Planning Commission.
And we need a motion for second reading by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Koji?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluor?
Yes. I take 1 week off and I get retrained or...
It's an unusual situation.
Yeah. Resolution number 2533-19.
A resolution declaring the necessity to improve certain streets in the city by lighting the same and declaring an emergency.
Okay, can I have a motion for suspension? Saunders, second by Rhodes. Call the roll, please.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Koji?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluor?
Yes. Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Janutus.
Let me take this.
Yeah, Frank.
The ordinance is for the next three, and then continuing on for basically the next 6 months, all are reflecting what's going to be happening with the tax budget for 2020. With the first three, we're basically passing the street lighting assessments. We went from 1.7 mils that we had last year. We're going to be dropping that down to 1.6 mils due to the valuation increase. So that will benefit those whose values did not increase. So I ask council to pass that this evening.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Saunders.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Speaks. Yes. Koji.
Yes.
Janutus.
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes. Ordinance number 9689-19.
An ordinance determined to proceed with the improvement of the certain streets in the city of Bedford by lighting the same and declaring an emergency.
We have a motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll.
Saunders.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Speaks. Yes. Koji.
Yes.
Janutus.
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes. Motion for third and final by Rhodes, second by Saunders. Frank, if you want to,
It's the same
Same
thing.
thing.
These three are all related.
all our street lighting, we'd like to have lighted streets, right? Call
Yeah,
the
we-
roll, please. Oh, sorry.
Basically, we assess in regards to correlating to the, like your electric bill at home, whatever the bill is for our street lights and our traffic signals, we need to come up with the funds and we match those up with the millage, and that's what we're doing here today. That's what we do.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Saunders.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Speaks.
Yes.
Koji.
Yes.
Janutus.
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes. Ordinance number 9690-19.
An ordinance levying special assessments for the improvements of the streets and public places of the city by lighting the same in accordance with the previous resolution and the previous ordinance and declaring an emergency.
And a motion for suspension by Rhodes, second by Saunders. Call the roll.
Saunders.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Speaks.
Yes.
Koji.
Yes.
Janutus.
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes. Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Janutus. Right, again, it's our street lighting.
Final piece to the puzzle.
Great. Call the roll, please.
Saunders.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Speaks.
Yes.
Koji.
Yes.
Janutus.
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes. Resolution number 2534-19.
A resolution approving and accepting the proposed 2019 tax budget for the tax year January 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2020, and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Call the roll.
Saunders.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Speaks.
Yes.
Koji.
Yes.
Janutus.
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes. Motion for third and final by Saunders, second by Rhodes.
The tax budget is the first part of our process that we'll go through for the 2020 actual budget that we'll get to. But what the importance of the tax budget is to start is that the county auditors establish our property tax rates for next year, 21.7 mils. Failure to pass tax would eliminate all property tax values if we don't do this. It allows the city of Bedford to receive undivided local government funds and assistance. If we didn't do that again, we wouldn't receive that. These funds are estimated to be over $319,000 for the year 2020. And it allows the county auditor to provide the city of Bedford with a certificate of estimated resources, which is the amount that limits the amount of money council can appropriate for the year 2020. But it's the beginning process of the budgeting. But it doesn't appropriate any money to be spent. And at this point in time, our valuation, just to see where it's at, we were at 220,772 in 2017. We're looking for an increase up to 238,600 for 19. But that's down from 2008 when we were at $306,869. So we literally lost 28% of our tax value from 2008 to 2017. We did come back with 5.3% increase, which has to last us for the next 6 years, and that was just done last year. So those are some of the highlights. The total of the budget, $37 million, of which $17 million is the general fund.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Saunders.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Speaks.
Yes.
Koji.
Yes.
Janutus.
Yes.
Yes. Resolution number 2535-19.
Resolution requesting the county auditor to advance taxes from the proceeds of tax levies for the year 2019 collected in 2020 pursuant to section 321.34 of the Ohio Revised Code and declaring an emergency.
Got a motion for suspension. Saunders, second by Rhodes. Call the roll, please.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Koji,
Yes.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Janutus. Frank?
This ordinance allows the county, as they're collecting the dollars, to establish, I believe I said 75%, it's really 90% of what they have on hand, instead of waiting till the end of the process, which finishes up in March. As we continue on and the county collects it, they can send those monies forward to us sooner and quicker, and more in line with that as you're paying for the budget, and you'll get the funds accordingly.
Call the roll, please.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Koji,
Yes.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes.
Ordinance number 9692-19.
An ordinance to levy assessments for the expense of garbage and refuse collection, recycling, and disposal within the city of Bedford during the tax year 2019 and collected in 2020 and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Rhodes, second by Saunders. Call the roll.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Koji,
Yes.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Fluharty, second by Janutus.
Again, this is the levying of our refuse fee that we have. We're looking at the same fee for 2020. That'll be the third year in a row for establishing those rates. We're coming to the fourth year.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Saunders,
No.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Koji,
Yes.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes.
Ordinance number 9696-19.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 9653-18, making additional appropriations for current expenditures of the city and during the year 2019 and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Koji,
Yes.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Rhodes, second by Saunders. Again, Frank.
Throughout the year, we do amend the budget and the appropriations as grants come in and they change, and that's what this ordinance is doing. A couple of highlights are the cammering of our council meetings of the $9,435. Law Enforcement Trust Fund has received funds from the Auto Mile, where we're going to be doing the cameras and also the new purchase of the K-9 unit. The striker grant that the fire department went out from the Bureau of Workers' Comp, we have that at $47,995, so we'll be authorizing the purchase of that. And we've also had a bunch of other grants, the Violence Against Women's Act grants, the first suburbs, we had some adjustments there, and our bulletproof vest grants. And at this point in time, I ask council to pass this evening so that we can get these budgets onto the books for expenditure.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Koji,
Yes.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes.
Ordinance number 9697-19.
Authorizing and directing the city manager to enter into a contract with PDS Technologies, Inc., being the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Saunders, second by Rhodes. Call the roll.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Koji,
Yes.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Janutus. Mike, you finally get to talk.
Thanks, Mayor. This is for, at a wastewater plant, we're required to purchase liquid ferric chloride. We actually went out to bid. We received two separate quotes. The highest was a little over 37 cents per dry pound. PBS came in at 0.287. Contract calls for 160,000 dry tons per year, but this is a demand contract, and purchase it as needed.
That's to keep our water clean that comes out of the wastewater treatment plant. They say it's clean enough you can drink it. It's the creek. If anybody wants to volunteer for that, I won't, but it's a necessary thing. Call the roll, please.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Lorick?
Yes. Ordinance number 9698-19.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Senior Transportation Connection and declaring an emergency.
We should put that on second reading. I have a motion for such by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Janutus?
No.
Lorick?
Yes. Reports. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I just wanted to take a minute, and I was planning on complimenting our service department regardless, just the hard work that they put in, especially around Memorial Day to get the downtown, the commons, and the cemetery in the condition that they did with the rough spring. They've done a tremendous job. We have a lot of various dig jobs that we're tackling and that they'll get to very shortly. But I also indicated to a former property owner that had reached out over the weekend, and I had a long talk with her, and I told her that I would relay this message at council because she wanted to know how to deliver it. But she's worked with 4 or 5 different service departments, and she says it's not even close. Not even close as far as the professionalism, the friendliness, and the actual work that we do. She wanted to make sure that that point was delivered. And I told her, I joked, I says, we don't always get phone calls like this, and it's nice to hear them every once in a while. And I told her that I would absolutely pass that on to the staff, and to Clint and Sean, and I would mention it at today's meeting. So kudos to our guys that, not only are they doing the work, but they're definitely conducting themselves in a professional and friendly manner. And they do a great job, so well done.
Good to hear.
I do want to mention that our road program, in between the raindrops, but we're tentatively scheduled to start this week. So we'll be going through, making the repairs to those roads, and we'll also be finalizing some of the details for our sidewalk program. So look for that information to come out over the next month and a half. We'll be going out and obtaining quotes for that work, and we'll have information out to the public. So those crews will be in town. If you haven't had a chance, take a look, either go on our website or stop down at Ellenwood, but there's a lot of different programs going on down at Ellenwood. Sports programs, there's camps, our pool opened today. Doesn't feel like it's June, but it opened today. Get down there, take a look at some of those, and make sure you keep in touch. There's going to be more programs coming out. I know there was a financial wellness program that was going to be offered, and some things with the seniors. So definitely stop down and talk to Aaron and Mike and look for more information out of that department. We are working, there was a sinkhole identified late Friday near Northfield and Charles, on Northfield side. It's actually about 17 to 20 feet deep. We're not able to get down there with our equipment, so we're working with Cuyahoga County to get that addressed and hopefully fixed and remediated as soon as possible. So if you're wondering where that stands, obviously we have to go outside for that assistance. I want to give a job well done to Deputy Chief Sutz and Chief Stemple. We had our annual 2019 inspection of our jail facilities, and they, as usual, knocked it out of the park as far as compliance. And there's a lot that goes into getting that done and getting to the level of compliance and meeting the various benchmarks that we're able to meet. And that doesn't happen by accident. And we're very diligent in our procedures and the things that have to happen over in the jail, and to get that done and to receive the kudos email that we did from the agency is another job well done. So I want to commend those to Deputy Chief Sutz and Chief Stemple on that accomplishment. And one more thing. The only other update, if you recall a few weeks ago, I had talked about Cleveland Commercial Rail. They wanted to close the West Grace crossing for 5 days to do the repairs. We asked them to postpone that because of Rockside, and ultimately we gave them the go-ahead when Rockside was open. And they told us they were going to do that work the week of the 20th, May 20th, and they did not. We've reached back out to them, and we're looking for a tentative start date on that project. However, we were also notified last week by Norfolk Southern, who also want to do repair work to their crossing. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get both of those entities to, get in communication, and if we're closing that down, we need to close it once. Have them both come in, coordinate that work. The Norfolk Southern repairs are going to be more lengthy, so the total closure will be about 2.5 weeks for that side, but we don't know when that is yet. We don't want to have a road closed, reopen for 3 days, have them close it again. We'd rather it be closed, they both come in and do the work. And we're working to get that coordinated, and we'll inform the public as soon as we know and have a start date on that. I will say, once they finish the West Grace crossing, Norfolk Southern does plan to go over to West Glendale to make necessary repairs there as well. Cleveland Commercial does not, but the one line will move over to the West Glendale. So once we get some more details and we get them to coordinate, that repair, we'll get that out to the public as soon as possible. End of report. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Law Director.
No report tonight. Just want to wish everybody happy Father's Day, because we probably won't see you until July. And so everybody have a good Father's Day. Well, I would like to thank the Planning Commission and the property owners for working together, and especially Helen and Austin who are here today, and other various property owners who have worked with us towards I think we're pretty close to achieving our rezoning of Meadowbrook, and that'll probably be passed at the next council meeting. So thank you for your help.
Thank you. Mr. Finance Director.
Yes. On behalf of the Rotary, I'd like to thank the public for coming out. Good or bad, this past weekend was a great success, and appreciate everybody's efforts to get out there. Also, you'll know that this weekend coming up is a Strawberry Fest. I'm sure the rest will talk about that, so I won't take away their steam, but keep that in mind. And as for the net profits and the businesses in regards to the state taking over, what we've seen so far, I've probably filed about 150 businesses that are taken them up on the OBM filings, and so far it seems like it's working for what they wanted to accomplish, which is what I said would be a good idea somewhat, and that was larger corporations that have to file everywhere are doing so, and there's a couple small ones that really don't need to be in that mix. I guess the only exception I have is to why they didn't take a fee from us for doing that processing, but right now it seems to be very limited. 150 is not many at all in regards to who's actually filed for that. So for the most part, they're filing properly with the state, but the reports coming back aren't exactly greatly informative to us. So we'll be working on that in the near future. That's pretty much the end of my report, and happy Father's Day to everyone.
Thank you. Before we get into council reports, I just want to pass along my condolences to the family of Art Dickard, our former city manager, who passed away right before Memorial Day. Art was a great, great guy, great family man, and he was especially proud of his service in the United States Marine Corps. And he went through a particular battle that nobody should have to go through at that age, when a 19-year-old kid at the Chosin Reservoir. It was just a horrible experience for all involved, but Art came through it. He served as commandant of troops at the Memorial Day parade, and we could see him there in his Marine dress uniform, and he looked looking sharp, and that was a thing he cherished, was to be part of that parade, and we're going to miss him there. We did miss him, and I want to thank Mike for helping to put together a nice little memorial for him at the cemetery that day. it was quite fitting that we do it, particularly on Memorial Day, for a guy of our Dicker's stature and standing in the community. Just a terrific guy we're gonna miss. And also, Don, I want to thank you for running the meeting last meeting while I was on vacation. And we'll start with council reports. Mr. Saunders.
Oh, I get to be first. I'd also like to give my condolences to the Dixon family. Connie Dixon, who was 96, passed away over the weekend. She was a fixture in this community. Her and her husband, who passed away a number of years ago, Pete. The two of them volunteered for just about anything and everything you can think of in this town over the years. And it's, like I say, another icon gone. So my condolences to the Dixon family. First thing I've got is for Mike. Nordham. There are some moon craters on that street right now that are unbelievable. In fact, one of the holes is bigger than a small car's tire. Somebody's going to get blowouts or have an accident over there. We need to get out there like immediately and fill in some of those holes. They are really bad on that street, especially from Berkshire up to Rayner. Those are really, really bad. We've got to do something with that one. The other item, which Mike is aware of because I sent him several pictures over the weekend, we have got, I don't care so much about the fact that people are leaving their cans out after the pickup because they're empty, so you don't get them torn open and blown around the neighborhood and whatnot. But we have it seems like it's increasing where people are putting their garbage out and not just in the cans, they're putting them in bags and whatnot early. So much early that it's on the weekend for a Wednesday pickup. That only results in a problem because if they're not in the can, they end up getting ripped apart. The raccoons get into them and whatnot. And we have a critter problem in the town. So we really ought to start looking at the early violators as rather than, I hate to say it, the after the pickup violators, because the after pickup, like I said, are not really a problem when it comes to critters and litter. The other, let's see, I don't know if anybody drove down Northfield Road today, but the house on Northfield Road that was arsoned twice was torn down today. Was that us or the land bank that took that down?
Not us. I don't even believe it was the land bank.
Oh.
It was with the property.
Oh, it wasn't the actual property owner? Well, it was good to see that house gone, or going down. I haven't driven by it to see how they cleaned the lot up afterwards, but this morning they were ripping it down, and that was an eyesore and an invitation for kids and whatnot. Get it the heck out of there. So that's a plus that one's gone. And let's see, two more things. One, as you notice, I voted against the garbage fee. A lot of you weren't here at the meeting when I gave the explanation of why I voted it down the first time. I still believe that it's unfair to our seniors especially because a lot of them only have one bag of garbage. And you've got a lot of homes that not only have their full can, but several bags and so forth every week, week after week. And the seniors are supplementing those that have an excessive amount of rubbish. So I still think we ought to give a senior discount because they don't have the garbage that everybody else has, but that isn't the case again for this year, so that's why I voted no on that one. And lastly, 111 Logan. Are you aware of a daycare in there? Because there is one. The neighbors have said that they have gotten out of hand. Nobody knows for sure how many kids are there, but it seems like it's more than 6 at times. So if you would check it.
Don't have to tell us, maybe it's someone watching children.
Yeah, well, if it's 6 or under, yes. But if it is more than 6, I think we ought to check into that property just to make sure that they are in compliance. And then I will see everybody at the Strawberry Festival this weekend. I will be there the whole weekend. I'm in charge of the beer trailers, so come over and have one with me, and we'll toss around some stories about the city. So, thank you.
Mrs. Rhodes.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you all again. So first of all, I wanted to let everyone know that the Bedford Garden Club will be starting their judging for the Bedford Beauties on June 11th. So if you have your front yard spruced up, please submit your property to the Garden Club. If you go to the Garden Club website, you can go to the form to submit the Bedford Beauty nomination. For those of you who are not familiar with Bedford Beauties, it's where the Garden Club goes around the city and looks for homeowners and businesses that have made some extra effort in improving the curb appeal of their home and making Bedford more beautiful. We'd like to acknowledge those people. I'd also like to invite everyone to our next First Friday, which is this upcoming Friday. It is down in downtown. This theme this time is a bike parade. So you can bring your children, your grandchildren, even your own bike. Everybody's bike comes down to the Commons, to Veterans Park actually, where we'll be decorating the bikes and we'll be parading them back up and down the sidewalk. So we hope to see you all there. It does overlap with the Strawberry Festival, so you can come down on your bikes, get them decorated, and then go to the Strawberry Festival and enjoy that as well. I'm also excited to announce that Bedford downtown will be hosting a one-of-a-kind theater experience called Interactive Theater, Interactive and Immersive Theater. Name of this particular show is Wanderlust, and it is based off of the Cleveland Torso murders, which, if you're not familiar with that, was what drove Elliot Ness over the edge to become an alcoholic. While I know that sounds a little depressing, what the theater group is actually going to be looking at is the victims that were affected by that particular serial killer. So I've been told that each chapter is going to focus on a different victim and look at how that they had come around. So this first one is called Wanderlust. Tickets go for sale on June 20th, and the show dates are July 25th through the 28th and August 1st through the 4th. So I hope that you will all try to make it to that theater show. I hear it's very popular on the West Coast, and they're hoping to get it launched here on this side of the country. East Coast, bigger cities. So I'd also like to thank the service department. They did make it the downtown look wonderful for a Memorial Day parade. Also, the gazebo looks amazing. They did a great job on that. I'd like to thank them for that. So I do apologize. I thought of another question about the item that we would be looking at for Planning Commission. Would you prefer I ask that now or when we actually get to that item?
You don't want to hold off.
Okay. And that will be all for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Spinks.
And good evening. As everybody has already mentioned, Strawberry Festival is this weekend, and I myself will be up there all weekend. Starts off Friday from 6 to 11. Band starts, the Crosstown Traffic Band starts from at 7 o'clock to 11. Saturday from 12 to 11 is the time, and 1 to 8 on Sunday. All day Saturday from 12 until 11 there will be bands. At noon will be a magic show and balloon bending. And then the rest of the day is all bands. We've got 4 different bands. Sunday is all day is DJ and come eat as much ice cream as you can. I know Meals on Wheels will be there. What are they doing this year? We're not doing the balloons this year. We're doing something different. What are we doing, Diane? Pinwheels. Oh yes, pinwheels. Okay.
Believe me, we built pinwheels.
And I also too, talking about Miss Dickinson, Miss Connie, she was one of our Church Nazarenes family members. A member there for a long time. Her and her family, grandson, is in our mentoring network for Kids Hope. This Miss Connie was just, I'm going to miss her smile and her hugs and kisses. A big picture. I don't think she missed very many senior meetings at all. And you always, every time you saw her, she had a big old smile on her face and a big hug for you and a kiss on the cheek, and I'm really gonna miss that. But God bless her, 96 blessed years, 25 grandchildren, 22 great-grandchildren. That's a blessing. And turn that around, okay. 22 grandchildren and 25 great-grandchildren. I was close, I was off by 3.
5 great-great.
And 5 great-great, wow, that's an accomplishment. And still had her wit about it, wasn't sick, you know, didn't have a long sickness or anything like that. So we were blessed to have her for that many years. She's gonna be truly missed. One other thing I got for you, Mike, and I know I've been bugging you, 188 Greencroft. When is this house going to come down, ever? I'm waiting for it to fall down. I wish I, you know, could go and just blow it down, because it looks like you could just blow on it and it would fall down. But if nothing else, it's been promised me, we gotta get it taped off, because some kid, you know, kids are gonna be kids. I know when I was little, if I saw an empty house, I wanted to go sneak up on the porch. This house is unsafe. I've been asking and asking to Lisa. Now we've got signs up on the door. We have got to get it taped off. All right, it needs to come down. I mean, this is getting, I get phone calls on a daily basis. I know that we're at the mercy of the land bank on this one, but this is beginning to be, it's just, I'd be really, really mad if I lived right across from it. And the nice people that do live across it, their yard's immaculate, most of the neighbors, and it's just, it's beginning, this is going on 3 years now that we've been looking at this house falling down. Again, if we could at least, I know, like I said, I know we're at the mercy of the land bank, but if we could at least get some caution tape around that. And I know kids are going to be kids, but safety's first. Next thing, kudos to our police department. I know it's kind of their job, but they've been on Grand Boulevard, because again, even with Dominion still on Grand Boulevard, even with all the construction with the gas pipes going in the big holes, we still have people flying. They have, you know, they see a police car. Well, our guys have been getting out and they've been stopping, and actually one of the girls that were flagging, car passed by her, almost hit her, and she hit his hood. And he rolled down his window and she let him have it. And I was right there, so kudos to that. But thanks to our police department and all the guys in the union are doing a good job. Heather, my yard, I've really worked really hard, but the Indian tore it up. So I hope when I submit my yard for Bedford Beauties, that y'all don't look, that big hump looks like someone was buried there. I hope y'all overlook that in the report.
Thank you. Mr. Janutus.
Thank you. Well, there are a lot of fun events happening and gone by, and Memorial Day is always a special one. This year, the town looked great, and you know, thanks to the city services, but also there's a contingency of volunteer workers through the Downtown Alliance, people who clean up the downtown and pick up butts and whatnot on a regular basis, and I think the city would really look good. It's an opportunity to, as it is a day of remembrance for all the fallen soldiers, but also it was a good reminder of what a nice town Bedford is. And it was good to see everybody, and we have a blessing in each other. And one event that probably was not publicized very much, I have to congratulate Vic Fluharty for a great honor to an outstanding educator, Bob Leffler, who taught at Bedford High School for many, many years. He tried very diligently to teach me math. I congratulate him for that, but most of it was beyond me. But Vic decided that it was a good time to honor him, and he was named at a ceremony. The baseball complex was named after Bob Leffler now, and I think that was a fitting tribute. Bob was a great baseball coach and Vic's baseball coach, and just brings to mind what a lasting impression that educators have on people, and it was just really truly touching recognition of him. And I congratulate Vic for doing that, because it was really a good thing. Great job. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kluhart.
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome back. But you took a lot of that part off while I had it written down, so. Yeah, that's all right. I want to thank everybody at the high school for all the work they did for helping me put this on. They really went far and beyond what they had to do. We had proclamations from Kenny Yuko and Juanita Brent and the city here. And we have a nice plaque up there on the wall. And if you ever get a chance up there at the high school, look at it. It's on the upper side before you go down over the varsity field. I'm going to try to get a hold of the new baseball coach and tell him from now on, anybody that walks down that field that's on the varsity better rub that plaque as they pass it, because it's like a tradition for, if you went to Notre Dame, they do that when they walk out on the field. They hit the old thing on the wall, New Brockney or whatever it is. So maybe we can start something like that here with the Bob Leffler plaque. And also you guys here on council, and Mike especially, for helping me get this off, some advertising in the city, and it was a great event. Like I said, I can't thank the school enough for helping us all out. Getting to the ward, we need to get these grasses cut. We're down to about 3 or 4 yards, and hopefully this week, I was told they're going to finally get caught up. Mike was talking about repaving. We got Carrollwood Drive. They probably started today. Did they start, Mary? Okay, they'd be doing this week, I think.
Yeah, I think they're shooting for Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be on Carroll, but they're going to be mobilizing in town, I believe, on Wednesday.
Yeah, we got the letter, but nobody was working up
It'll
there.
be soon.
And also, I have a little bit of a sinkhole starting over there by Sunoco, across the St. Mary's Playground there, right in the middle of Northfield Road. We did some work there. I can't remember if it was a water leak or what, but I've driven over that the last few days, and it's slowly getting lower and lower. And like Don said, it's getting to where the tires are down when you hit it. So before that gets any worse, when you were talking about Charles Street, we're right up the street from there. So some of that needs to get worked on too, I think, real soon. And also, I would like to, again, hope everybody comes down to the Strawberry Fest, and first beer's on Donald, so just so you know. He's working the beer tent, so, and the report.
Thank you. And again, that was a great job on the memorial there, Vic, for Bob Leffler. He's a great guy. And with that, let's, we got this extensive new business of one item. We need a motion to accept the Planning Commission recommendation of May 21st, 2019 regarding Dawn Smith, 20 West Gray Street, who is seeking a conditional use approval to allow the structure located at 348 Broadway Avenue to be used as a daycare and learning center. Vote yes, you agree with the Planning Commission that it should be allowed, and no, you don't agree, and it should not be allowed. Need anything to add to that, John?
If anybody has any comments?
Well, I do apologize. I just noticed when we sat down that the address for Dawn Smith is not at home. It's a business, which is another daycare. So I was wondering, are they opening a second location, or are they moving to this location?
Go ahead, Mike.
It would be a second location. The West Grace would be for younger children. I believe this location is for 5 to 12-year-olds.
My concern with the other location is that the front of the building has been in disrepair for quite some time. The signage there is quite dilapidated, and I'm wondering if it's a good idea to open a second location if they're unable to maintain the first. It's still a matter, I mean, the signage has been in disrepair for quite some time, so.
Take a look at that. Any questions? Seeing none, call the roll. Oh, you didn't have a motion yet? Oh. I'm sorry. We need a motion to accept the planning commission's recommendation. Motion by Janutus, second by Fluharty. Now we can call the roll.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
No.
Spinks,
No.
Cochi,
Yes.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes.
It's in pass, we'll
Yes,
check into
it is.
that. I know they were cited at one time or another. I believe they just purchased the property at one point, not too long ago.
It's just my concern, so.
And I thought they made it repair. Double check.
All right. And now we come to that portion of the meeting, the hearing of citizens. If you wish to speak, please come forward, state your name, your address, and your comment. Next. No, go ahead, sir.
How you doing, Mayor?
Good evening.
My name is Melvin Cook. I live at 678 Turning Road, Apartment 4, Colony Club. I'd like to ask a question. Is there a law against the complex having a swimming instructor at the swimming pool? I asked, and they say you can't. They will not have a swimming instructor, lifeguard at the pool, period. Swim on your own risk. Now, I've been teaching swimming for 70 years, and I know about swimming. You must have someone there to watch them small kids. Is there a law?
Do they have it posted, swim at your own risk?
Yeah, they just had that, right? They just put that up there. But there's a lot of small, and then at one time I was doing security there, and I was catching kids, small kids climbing over the fence, going into the water.
I don't know as far as the legality and the law, that I'd have to run by both our law director and our chief, but I know some of the items, it's fenced, or gated, obviously, you have to have postings. I totally understand your concern. I don't know, being that it's a private apartment complex, if that is by law mandatory. I'd have to check into the legality of that. I would think that if it's not, they probably do have to have it posted, and it does have to be fenced, and both they are doing, but we can look into that.
Okay, because they just sold, Colony Club just sold it to people in Michigan. Now they took over. Okay, I meant to say something right quick. This is my wife, this is the first time she had been here, and my friend, Craig. Also, I wanted to say something about Paula. I talked to her today, she's still in a little pain, you understand? So I'm speaking for her. So, want to say something else?
This is exciting. I've never been to a council meeting, this is my first time.
Just state your name and address and your comment.
My name is Wendell Rollins, I stay at 668 Cork Hill Road, Colony Club Apartments. I know Mel real well. There's a lot of crime over there in those apartment buildings. And sometimes I can't even sleep at night, looking outside, seeing if somebody's doing something crazy or anything like that. One time I called Bedford Police, or 911, it took a minute for them to get there. The time these guys was out there playing craps in the carport, it took them a minute to get there, and they asked me all these questions. The time I answered all these questions, they're gone and did what they had to do, you know. And there's a lot of streets. The streets are bad over there, especially down Cork Hill Road before you get to Dollar General. There's been some orange barrels that sit right there. I forgot the name of the street, but it's passed down Cork Hill Road before you get to it. That's Maple. Yeah, that's Maple. That's right. I'm sorry.
I'll tell them to fix it. Sorry.
Yeah, but this new company that moved in, it's like, there's a lot of things going wrong with that company that moved in. I don't know if you guys got anything to do with it. It's called Ben's Tech or something. They got the flag out there in the front. And they just took over, like Mel said. And there's a lot of things that's going on. It's been like people been staying there for a long time. They trying to charge more than what you're supposed to be paying and all of this. And there's a lot going on over there. You know, I think it needs to be addressed by somebody. Really bad.
We can look into some of the
Okay.
concerns, and I can chat with you.
Okay. And that's basically it.
Thank you.
Everybody don't like Bedford.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Kathy Williams, 491 Lamson. When they're working on the railroad tracks, I know during the day they won't be having the trains, but at night, will they still be doing the trains?
That I don't know. I don't have that answer right now.
Okay,
Obviously, if the
because
tracks are under construction and they can't be crossed, there wouldn't be trains coming back.
I would assume that, but
Yeah.
you're dealing with the railroad.
Yeah, I would imagine that the repairs that are gonna be done will allow the train to go through. It's gonna be the approaches and some of the, where is that? The grading and the, you know, they have
Those
the
timbers
rubber
going
pieces,
across.
the timbers that are in there to allow vehicle traffic over. I would imagine that's the majority of it. I don't believe they're pulling the rail or anything like that. Obviously, if the rail's pulled or adjusted, trains aren't gonna be able to come by. I believe they're just working on the actual approaches and the crossing itself. Which the train can still travel through, but vehicles wouldn't be able to travel over. But again,
So-
we weren't given the clarity, we weren't given or I should say, we weren't given the actual plans, so I don't know what that entails. All we're told is that there's necessary repairs and items that they want to address. This is how long it's gonna take. So we've asked them to bear with us as far as when that closing will take place.
Is there some way that you can ask them? Because I can understand during the day where they will not have the trains going through because of the workers or whatever doing. But if they're at night, you know, those horns are like, if there's gonna be mass quantities now, I mean, now between the hours of 1 and 4, there's a train maybe every 20 minutes. If they try to increase that, nobody's gonna be getting any risk.
I don't think they indicated anything about increasing any of that.
But if they're not doing it during the day, the train's gotta go through sooner or later.
Right. We're not privy to their scheduling or anything like that. I can inquire on that, but
Okay,
as far as their dispatching, we're not privy to that. We can check.
all right, because it would be nice if we had a heads up. And I have a question about the senior transportation, senior connection. Our buses will still be active, correct?
We only have one bus.
Only have one.
So on their website, they said that if there's a legal holiday that falls on a Sunday, they are closed on the Monday. If there's a legal holiday that falls on a Saturday, they're closed on the Friday. So if somebody has to go to dialysis on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, what happens to those people?
I believe they can still go, there may just be a premium charge because it's a holiday. But ours are closed on the holidays too, same as theirs. So,
I can add too, we have the ability to negotiate holidays and different things like that, but that's accurate. There's holidays that we're closed. For instance, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we were closed on Memorial Day. We have, I believe 8 or 9 dialysis patients that we drive Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So that Monday, they had to find an alternate means. We're closed too. I can tell you that I believe we're closed more days than this organization is based on holidays. But again, that's negotiable. Every community, with what's set on a website or what they provide for Solon or Lakewood or whatever, those are a la carte. Those communities negotiate. That doesn't mean that's what's happening in Bedford. We're discussing the same radius, we're discussing the same price, a lot of that doesn't change.
And the last time when you talked about it, you said that the fee for a senior citizen would be like whatever it is, $1,
A dollar each way.
Okay, that's for the first trip. What if they have to go 2 more, or if it, all trips?
That's for whatever the trips, we're looking at 4 one-way trips per week or 2 round trips per week. It's the same price. This company will allow, should council choose to go this route, should we decide to do this, this company also allows for evenings and weekend transportation. So if you want to go, if a senior wants to go to church on Sunday, they can arrange that. If they want to go to a wedding, if they want to go to an event at night, they can do that. There is an additional fee for that, and that's $5, and then whatever, I think it was $2 per mile.
$2.75 per mile.
$2.75 per mile. So there is the ability to do additional runs, but they would pay a little bit more because it's premium time. Right now, we're not offering that. Well,
On the city's bus, they don't, right, okay, all right, thank you.
And that's one of the reasons we're doing 3 readings, and we put it on second reading, so we can double check when things like this come up, as far as the holidays and all that.
Okay.
Thank you.
It'll all be explained when we do make a decision.
Yes, sir.
Just a quick question. You spoke about some programs.
Excuse me, name and address first, please.
Yeah. My name is Anthony Miller. I live at 114 Noran Circle.
I remember you from the baseball days, soccer.
Yeah,
Good to see you.
Sorry,
Good to see you.
You spoke about some programs at Ellenwood, and I wanted to know if there was any programs for individuals with developmental disabilities. One of my younger brothers has developmental disabilities, and I wanted to know if there was any.
Right now, there's not, but if you stick around, if you don't mind, I can talk to you and put you in contact with someone that does have an avenue and could possibly provide some programming through another entity in town. I can't speak for that because I'm not sure, but I can put you in contact with the person that can help you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nancy Lachowski, 197 Wando. I just want a clarification on this daycare. You know, Mike, when we talked, and even still, we put a limit on the tattoo parlors and the hair places, because we have so many in downtown. And I thought there was something at one time they were talking about all these daycares. Because, you know, we got, what, 2 right on the corner of Columbus and Northfield. You have one on Northfield out further. Got 2 right there, so close in Bedford. And the one, Heather, the one, were you talking about the one right on by Glendale? Do they still have the one in the back, the house in the back? Are they still using that and the building in the front?
I am not certain about that. I haven't looked back there. I was just looking more at the front of the building.
Yeah, because I know I've seen kids go in the front, but then I know I don't know if they still are. I assume they were using the house in the back, you know, because that has been there. That's where it started, with the house in the back. But, so that makes sense. You have another one that's going to be 6, you know, and I think it's just starting to overtake the city. And like I said, I know we want to use up the buildings there, but I mean.
We have the moratorium in the historic district, that there's no more daycares, but they're outside of the historic district, so it's.
Oh, so it's there. So it's only in the historic district then?
That they're limited, yes.
Oh, okay, well, that's what I wanted to know. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Diane Astelis, I live at 685 Archer Road.
And I'm in total agreement with what everybody had to say about the kudos to the service department for the condition of the cemetery, etc. But I want to add to that. We have a resident here in Bedford named Mike Garvin, who for over 30 years has been totally taking care of the veterans' graves, mapped out the cemetery, gets volunteers. His entire family, including all the way down to his grandchildren, are up there putting out the flowers, putting up the flags. I mean, they get this down to a science, and I really think that as a non-paid service department person, he deserves a lot of kudos. And he organizes this every year for over 30 years. So.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you mentioned his name. And there's a lot of people around town like that that don't get mentioned, and I'm always happy when somebody does mention him, because Mike does a lot of work, and his family, and his
whole
kids,
family.
his grandkids.
His son lives down
It's
somewhere
terrific, yeah.
south of, I don't know where he lives, Upper Sandusky, which is south of here. And he comes up, he brings his whole family, I mean, his wife, and then he gets a whole bunch of other friend volunteers to come.
So thank you for mentioning his name.
Thank you.
Mike's a great asset to the community.
Hi, Catherine Boy, 32 Leonard Avenue. I'm on the street that this daycare is being proposed upon. There are 3 disabled personnel on that street alone. One is a disabled American veteran, the other is a head injury, and the other is old with diabetes. There's only 7 houses, but only 2 are not occupied. One is condemned. It was the cat lady. Won't go into that. The other one is owned by Ganley. Don't know what they're going to do with that house. I believe they're going to tear it down, put a parking lot up. There will be a parking lot, a house, and then the daycare. Part of the property for the daycare is zoned industrial. The other is facing Broadway, which makes it the other that you're trying to use to put this in. Problem is, everybody on that street is over the age of 49, except for 2 people. I'm over 49. 52, okay, I gave it up. We don't want the extra busing. These are for 5 age to 12. Where's the bus is going to drop them off? You can't drop them off at Broadway. There's no entrance. You have to come on to Leonard. Now you're going to block a bunch of driveways. We had adult daycare there. That's all they did was block us in. We couldn't get out of our driveways for hours. And I really don't want this here.
It's the first I've heard of that problem when they were there.
We're quiet.
Yeah.
We want to keep peace in the city. You know, our concerns.
Yeah, so it certainly is something we'll have to keep an eye on. I was never aware of the situation when the adult daycare was there.
We went to them, we told them. They tried to put a little bit dampen. We had the adult people picking our flowers. The neighbor has a bench in her front yard. They were sitting in her bench, which it was way back from the road. That was the adults. Now you're going to put kids there. We have the train that is very close to, because our street is a dead-end street. They said 7 houses on it. The train's right there. There's no fencing. There's nothing in the noise. I just wanted
Make
everyone
sure
to
the
be
building
aware.
department's aware of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Barbara McDaniel, 186 Center Road. I just have a question. I know the apartment next to Big and Little was sold along with the other one. Well, now all of a sudden, after all these years, the grass isn't getting cut beyond the apartment. Who owns that wooded gully?
It's actually all the way connected back to Ellenwood that it was identified, and our contractor is gonna be cutting that.
Okay, I wondered because all of a sudden I noticed it's kind of long.
It should be cut next to it.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, Tina Strati at 51 Elm Street. And excellent job, Bedford's an awesome place to live. We love the community part of it. And with the changes that are happening at the rec center with Mike and Sarah and Aaron, they're really starting to implement some things for the young people and the older people. So we're excited about that, about the new zoning at the, over where Walmart used to be. Good job, don't give up. God has a plan for Bedford. A little wondering if there's anything we could do to try to instill pride again into our community and our homes. We live on Elm's tiny little street. 3 of the yards, the grass was knee high. I spoke with the man who said he gave out 200 tickets for not cutting grass this month in our city, and that was discouraging. I know there was a concerned citizen who went and cut the grass at one of the properties and trimmed some bushes. I don't know if that will get picked up or not, because I don't know if that's just when the garden club put that little sign, like when the kids can like, Mom, you got a sign. It really does make you feel like, wow, somebody notices and somebody kind of cares. I don't know if there's something we could do, like when somebody paints their house or when somebody, it's kind of being a neighborhood again, if we can get to be a neighborhood. And I just don't know, but I appreciate everybody working together, and we're all trying, so, right? We're all trying, so good job.
Thank you. Say hello to the Reverend for us. Anyone else? Seeing none, I want to remind council we need to go back for executive session after a few minutes. A motion for suspension by Saunders, second by Rhodes. Call the roll, please.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Speaks?
Yes.
Koji?